Hello there folks, this is John Oakes. Today here at Hankster's Hot Rods here in Homer City, PA, we are going to go over our newest addition to our inventory. Very nice vehicle here that I have the opportunity to go over with you. And this is a 1968 Plymouth GTX. Now again, you can see you see behind me here, this car done here in the all white exterior with the black stripes. Obviously it's got all the GTX badging here. As we walk around, I'll point all of that out to you. But just to give you a real brief rundown, synopsis of the vehicle here. Again, the 68 GTX, white with the black stripes. As far as the engine and drive line, this would be a date correct 440 cubic inch Mopar engine. We've got the Torqueflite 727 automatic transmission. And then as far as the rear end goes on the car, we've got that Mopar 8 3/4 inch rear end. It's got the shore grip, posi unit in it. That was Mopar's posi unit. 373 gear in there. It is a power steering car, power brakes. It is four-wheel drum brakes though, all complete with the emergency brake all hooked up. And of course it's running on the 14-inch Magnum 500 style wheels there with correct center caps. And for the tires, it's got the BFGoodrich Silvertown radials with the red line on it to give it that classy look, the classical, appearance there of the red line tires. The only difference is instead of being, forced into running like the bias ply with the red line tires, here you've got radials now, so you've got the performance benefits of the radial tire. That's pretty much the overview of the car. Now, starting here with our walk around, again, the white exterior on this car, this would not be the original color for this car, but they did one outstanding job with this, as it looks as though they have blown this whole car apart and painted everything. And again, wait until we get to the underside here and I show you that, because the underside is just as nice as what we're about to show you here on top. Now with that white exterior here on the front fenders, you notice that this car does have the fender mounted turn signal option on it, and these are functional too. So those one on either side there. Again, all the panels nice and straight. We've got the bright wheel lip moldings here, all securely fastened, good and straight all the way around the wheel well here. And again, everything looks good there. I already mentioned the 14-inch Magnum 500 style steel wheels here with the BFGoodrich Silvertown radials. Of course, with the GTX, we've got the black GTX striping here that leads its way right into that GTX badge back here on the rear quarter panel. Now, before we get ourselves too far, we always go over the gaps and the elevations on our classy cars. So again, our gap here on the front door here, as well as the gap to the back of the door. Very uniform, nice, tight gaps here, and the elevations are dead on. So again, when you look at the car down the side, it is super straight. Not only the big panels like the fenders and quarter panels, but also the elevations of the door, how it's adjusted and blends into the quarters and fenders. So again, very nice panel fitment and alignment. We've got the mirrors on both sides. So we got the round mirrors, chrome finish, looks great. Again, the glass is in good shape here too. You've got the chrome door handles, which are in really good condition too. And then as far as the glass and the trim up around the windows and so forth, trim is all in good shape. Your drip rail moldings, trim down the quarter window and around your vent window. I don't see any pitting here around that. All looks good. And as far as that rain gutter goes, nice and smooth the whole way around that window opening there. Now let's go ahead and open our door up. Take a look at our interior here for the first time. So we got an all black interior, black vinyl. You got the bucket seats with the headrests up front, the bench in the rear, seat belts all the way around, retractables up front, of course your regular lap belts in the back. Full length center console with the automatic floor shifter, and the dash is all factory gauges and so forth, even the factory radio. The only thing that is not is 2 gauges down below the radio, and those are the Equus name brand. It's the water temperature and the oil pressure gauge there. Even the steering wheel there is the factory steering wheel. Door panels and such all in good shape on this car too, along with all the upholstery. No rips or tears anywhere. The carpeting is in really nice condition here. No rips, tears, or fading that we can see. And like I said, door panels, wood grain trim, all looks good. Even your armrest pads not really showing any signs of real wear and tear there. A lot of times you'll see some splits or cracks, but not on this car. This car looks really good. As far as our weather stripping and all of our seals up around our windows and our door frame here, all of which intact, all securely fastened, and again, no rips or tears anywhere, so that's going to seal up around the glass. And then of course we've got our weather stripping here on the door, which same thing, nice and soft, no rips or tears, securely anchored to the door, and it's going to seal up very, very good. We'll close our door up. Again, that shuts nice and easy, and then we'll continue our way around the car. Again, all wheel-lip moldings, all in the same condition, nice and straight, securely fastened to the car. Just look good all the way around. Our rear glass here in the car, of course, no cracks or scratches anywhere on the rear glass. It does look like our rear glass as well as our side glass, slightly tinted, and all of your bright work here, the trim work around the window, all nice and straight, all securely anchored to the car. It's not, you know, flapping around or anything. Again, nice tight fitment there. As far as the trunk lid on our car too, you can check the gaps all the way around on that trunk lid, and that all looks good too. Even the elevations with your quarter panels back here all look to be in good order here. As far as the actual rear of the car, the tail panel, of course you've got you know, it's all nice and straight here. You've got the GTX cladding here on the trunk lid itself, as well as your bezels around the tail lights, all of which are in good condition. Tail light lenses and so forth, no chips, cracks anywhere in the lenses, so those all look good. Of course, you see the Plymouth lettering here across the tail panel and the GTX badging there. Then our rear bumper here. Rear bumper looks really good. Maybe starting to show a little bit of its age, but really all in all in good shape. There's no real problems with it. It does though show that it's a little bit older, as you can start to see maybe the beginning of a little bit of pitting and a few little like little tiny stress cracks, that's all. But all in all looks good. There's no chrome flaking off. It's all good and solid. No dents or dings anywhere on the bumper. And if we look all the way to the bottom here, we see the ending to our exhaust system. That exhaust is a full 3-inch exhaust with a slash cut exhaust tip down here. Now while we're back here, we're going to get our keys out, and we're going to go ahead and open our trunk lid up so that we can show you how nice this trunk is inside. So let's get our key in here, and I just had this, oh, there we go. All right. So the key itself does in fact work the lock, so that all functions as it should. The trunk hinges and spring all functioning as they should, holding that trunk lid up on its own. The underside of the trunk done that same white as the exterior of the car. You've got the rubber bump stops right here, so whenever you close it, it sits on those. And then of course all of your weather stripping the whole way around here, all nice and soft, looks pretty new here. Meets together in the center. All of your water channels here, your rain gutters, all good and solid, nice and straight throughout. So that's going to help direct all of that rainwater and from car wash too, right out the back of the car. You're never going to have to worry about it laying inside your trunk. The trunk itself is in great shape. You've got a full set of floor mats there with the GTX embroidering on it. Of course, you can see the fuel lines and such coming in there. Again, going down to your fuel tank, all in good shape. Again, here just shows you the trunk floor itself, how nice you've got there. No patching, all painted the same color as the car. All the rubber drain plugs installed as they should be. And again, the trunk mat's in really good shape there too. So that is your trunk. So we'll close this up. Again, that shuts easy, and we'll work our way around the passenger side. So again, first thing, starting here at the back, looking up across the side of the car, super straight. Again, these GTXs, as well as a lot of the Mopars and the older cars of, you know, back in the 60s and so forth, had those big long panels. And again, it's very easy to see a nice straight car when you see it. And again, this one is straight. Again, all of your wheel lip moldings, good and straight, polished up really well, anchored securely. The matching GTX badges with the black stripes along the bottom side of the door. Of course, you've got the bright work too along the rocker panel there too. Again, nice and straight, anchored good and secure as well. Nice tight gaps over here on the passenger side also. So again, panel fitment, very good on this car. All of your bright trim work here on the passenger side, door opening and windows here, all in great shape. No dents or dings anywhere here. Don't really see any pitting on any of the trim work. That all looks good, including the chrome on the mirror, and the glass itself is in great shape. Wing window, the actual door glass, and the quarter window, no chips, cracks, or scratches on any of this, so that all looks good too. Now let's go ahead and open our door from the passenger side. And then again, you can get a good overall view of all of that interior. Again, the dash is in great shape. All of your seat upholstery looks good, not showing any rips or tears anywhere, either in the front or the rear seats that I can see. Again, your carpeting here, all nice black carpeting, no rips, tears, or fading. Like I mentioned there, that full-length center console with your automatic shifter. Door panel on the passenger side looks just as good as what the other side did. The wood grain trim looks good in that. You even got some wood grain up there in your dash right above the glove box. Your armrest pad, no rips or tears there either. And all of your weather stripping and your seals around the door frame, all in good shape on this car. So we'll close this up. Again, that shuts easy. You got the fender mounted antenna. You also have the 440 badging in those scoops. And then we come around to the front of the car. So again, this would be your, obviously your GTX front end here for the 68. You've got the Plymouth up on the leading edge of the hood here. All of your trim and bright work around the grille area and your headlight bezels, all in really good condition. Same thing with your front chrome bumper here. The grille itself, all intact. There's no pieces broke, no cracks or anything there. And of course, you got the GTX badging right there in the center. Before we open the hood, we'll check out our gaps. Gaps are nice and tight all the way around on the hood. The hood scoops themselves, you got those dual scoops kind of off to the side. As I mentioned, the 440 badging inside of those hood scoops. Your cowl area, the vents all look good. Nice wiper arms and blades. The windshield itself, no cracks anywhere on that windshield. And again, your bright work, your trim all the way around the window is all securely anchored and all looks good. Let's come around now, open up our hood. All right, so with the hood open, obviously you see the hood latch itself all works, the hood release. The underside of the hood done the same white as the exterior. You've got your rubber hood flap here as it should be. Hood insulation all intact. Don't see anything really hanging down. All looks to be good and secure up there on the hood. And then of course your engine compartment. As I said, it looks like whenever they've painted this car, they've blown the whole thing apart and did a really good job here of painting it. Your engine compartment done the same color as the exterior of the car, which would be correct for the Mopars. That's how they did it. They didn't do like the black engine compartment like your GM cars and so forth did. So this would be a correct look to the car. The only thing is it just isn't the factory correct color. As far as the engine goes, this is a date correct 440 cubic inch Mopar engine. You can see it's got the chrome 440 Super Commando air cleaner lid there up on top. Underneath that, we've got a Holley 750 CFM carb with electric choke. The intake would be your cast manifold there. Again, that's not going to be aluminum. That's just going to be like a factory manifold there. And then as far as your valve covers here, nice set of finned Mopar Performance valve covers, chrome finish on those to make everything look nice underneath. You've got the PCV valve, you've got the breather over there so that everything vents properly. As far as the ignition system, looks like it's got pretty much the stock style distributor and coil in it. It does though look like it's got upgraded MSD superconductor 8.5mm plug wires there to help deliver that spark to the plugs there and get it firing possibly a little better. As far as the exhaust, we've got a full length 1 3/4 long tube headers. As I mentioned, full 3-inch exhaust, Dynomax turbo style mufflers, and with the 3-inch tailpipes on it too. So it's going to have a real nice deep throaty sound to it. For cooling purposes, we've got the stock style radiator here. You got a full surrounding shroud here, 7-blade clutch style fan there to keep everything nice and cool. Power steering, power brakes. As I mentioned, it is 4-wheel drum brakes, but everything works super well on the car. It even has the emergency brake all hooked up to it also. All of your hoses, whether it be heater hoses, radiator hoses and such, all of those are all good and secure, no leaks whatsoever. Everything looks good underneath here. You even have the fender tag here also with all of your codes and so forth for the car. Now behind that motor, as I mentioned earlier, it's got the 727 automatic Torqueflite transmission along with the 8 3/4-inch Mopar rear, the 373 gearing in that with the shore grip differential in there. So as far as the car goes, it's a complete package. Super nice metal, good paint, solid car, good drive line, power brakes, power steering, all of that makes this car a very nice car that you definitely would want to have. Now at this point, I always go to the point of if you're watching this video somewhere else other than our website, I would always recommend that you go there because we're going to have upwards of 100 photos of this car all the way around, inside, outside, underneath, everything for you to click on. You can blow them up, study them, do whatever it is that you want to do there. You're also going to see our retail pricing that it includes enclosed shipping to anywhere within the contiguous 48 states, and it also includes our Hanksters 3-month 3,000-mile powertrain warranty as well. Also, if while I was walking around this car and showing it to you, if you notice that there's something that you might like to have added to it, we always recommend you reach out to us. Let us know what that might be. We will gladly go to work for you and get you pricing on parts and labor to have whatever those items are added to this car to make it your own. With that said, we're pretty much done with the walk around portion of the video. We're going to take just a moment to close this all up, take it in the back, get it on our lift, and then like I said, you'll be pretty impressed with the underside of this car too. So let's go back and get it on the lift so I can get to showing that to you right now. Hey folks, welcome back here with me back in our shop with our 68 Plymouth GTX up on the lift. So we're going to go through this car just like we do all of our cars here. I'm going to show you the complete underside of this car, and as you can look back through, you can tell this is going to be a very nice car here. Again, we've already been through the top side. The underside just as nice as what that top side is. So kind of following suit with what we normally do, let's start up here at the front of the car. So we've got the bottom of the core support here. It is good and solid. That bottom of that radiator, nice and dry also. There are no leaks, no drips here at any of our transmission cooler lines, nothing at any of our lower radiator hose here or the clamps and so forth. They are all in good shape underneath here and dry, leak free. Back behind that here, Now that's when we get into the steering, the suspension, and all of those components. Starting with, of course, our K member up front. That's our cross member here. And again, very important because that is where all of our suspension bolts off of. So again, that is nice and straight. Doesn't look like it's ever been banged on anything here. The front sway bar, this is a 1-inch sway bar bushings here at the frame, as well as out here at the end links, are all in good shape here. There are no splits or cracks in any of our bushings anywhere. So that's going to keep this front end nice and tight here. And again, for a bigger car like this, an older muscle car, this thing should corner very, very nicely here. As far as the rest of the suspension, your control arms up front, all stock stuff here. So again, your lower and uppers here, all factory style components here. This is a Mopar, so you are going to see that it is in fact a torsion bar front suspension. Bushings here back at your cross member here, as well as up here at your control arms. Those are all intact, all look to be in very good shape here, so no issues there whatsoever. Power steering car, power brakes also. Now it is a 4-wheel drum brake car, but again, it still stops very, very well being power brake. Again, we look at things as far as the steering components, we look at the steering box, pitman arm, the drag link, and again, of course, our tie rods and tie rod ends, and all of which on this car look very, very good. Again, I'm assuming this car was probably done not too awfully long ago. Kind of a, you know, a frame off restoration here per se, with it being all done up the way that you see it here underneath. But again, your tie rod ends are in excellent shape here, look fairly new, greasable. Again, rubber dust boot covers all intact everywhere where they should be, so that's going to keep that grease in and keep dirt and debris out away from those joints. Even the ball joints, same thing there. So again, all in good shape. Shocks up front all look to be in good condition. All the mounting hardware and the shock bushings at the mounts all look to be in good shape. And then of course our wheels and tires. Of course we saw them from the top side there as we did our walk around. We've got the 14-inch Magnum 500 style wheels there, the steel wheels, and of course the BFGoodrich, the Silvertown radials here. That would be that red line radial. Again, it kind of gives it that old school look, but instead of being a bias ply tire, now you've got the performance of the radial. So again, all in good shape. And the size on these on all 4 corners is 225/70 R14s. Now if we come back into the center of the car now, we talk a little bit about our drive line here and our exhaust. So again, we've got the underside here of that 440 cubic inch Mopar engine. Again, not the numbers match motor, but a period correct 440 here. The oil pan, I'm looking at the seals all the way around, and again, nice and dry here. Dry at the drain plug and dry at the rear of the actual oil pan as well. The actual transmission, this is that 727 automatic transmission, Torqueflite. Again, it is dry. So all of your lines coming from your radiator, the transmission cooler there, those are all dry. Nice chrome transmission pan here, and it is dry all the way around. Of course, our transmission has the flywheel torque converter cover on the front. That's going to help protect that from any debris getting in there, possibly chipping a tooth off your flywheel or something like that. So again, that is all good stuff there. The exhaust system, this is 1 3/4 long tube headers into a full 3-inch dual exhaust on this car. Dynomax turbo style mufflers, and of course it's got tailpipes exiting out the rear of the car. So again, that's going to be a nice sounding, nice flowing exhaust system here for this car. As far as the rest of the things here, of course we've got our transmission cross member. It is in great shape. All the hardware is in great shape. Again, the mount at the tail shaft, that is in good condition. Also our tail shaft, that output shaft seal, that is in great shape too. All solid, no rips or tears. And again, where your slip yoke from your drive shaft slides into that at, again, there's no wetness around there, no leaks anywhere around that, so that's in good shape. As you can already tell, the frame and the floors on this car are in excellent condition. All painted here, just like the exterior of the car here. Again, you can see how well everything looks underneath here. Absolutely no patching that I can see anywhere underneath here. All looks good. And you've got all your bracing, of course, all the correct metal here for your floor pans. As you can see, all of your stamping lines, all of your brake lines, all of your fuel lines, all routed right along the pinch welds of the car here, nice and neat. This does in fact also have the emergency brake all hooked up on it too, and functional. So that is the frame and the floors. Your pinch welds are straight down both sides, and your rockers are good and solid on both sides underneath here. Now if we come back here to the drive shaft, well, the drive shaft, that's going to be a steel shaft, all in good shape. Universals have all been checked over on it, and everything is all in good condition here. And as far as the rear end, now this is going to be our Mopar 8 3/4 inch rear end here. This is the Shore Grip rear, so that would be Mopar's version of like your Pause Traction rear end, and it's got the 373 gear ratio in it. As far as the rear suspension, we've got the multi-leaf rear suspension along with a set of air shocks. Again, the air shocks, those can be really nice for some people. You can go ahead and air those up and give it the right kind of look that you're after there, right attitude, or you know, just wherever you feel that it is a good ride for you. It's real simple, just by simply hooking up an air hose to it, putting air in to raise it, taking air out to lower it. And again, all of your mounting hardware, your bushings for your shocks, all of your U-bolts and nuts and bolts and everything, all in great shape. Again, as I mentioned, drum brakes even back here on the rear, but again, all your emergency brake stuff is all hooked up and functional. The 14-inch wheels, and again, these Silvertown radials from BFGoodrich here, same size as the front, so that makes doing any kind of tire rotations and so forth, makes that stuff really, really easy. Then, of course, we've got our fuel tank. This will be our stock style fuel tank here. Again, in excellent condition. There's no dents or dings anywhere. The mounting straps and hardware all in great shape. As I mentioned, the tailpipes, those are even 3-inch up over top of the rear housing and exiting out the back of the car on both sides here. Nice slash cut there to finish everything off nice and neat. And of course, then you've got your chrome rear bumper there also. Trunk floors are in great shape too. Everything that we see here, everything all painted up and looks great underneath this 68 GTX. So with that said, at this point, I always remind you folks out there, not only do we do the classic cars, but we're also an ATC trailer dealer. We've got multiple models here on the premises in stock, ready to be sold, and possibly even put one of these in it for you. If you're one of our car customers and you're interested in a trailer, we'll obviously, you know, work with you on pricing there. If you want to go check out what we have and see all the options, descriptions, pricing and so forth, and all the photos, you can get there by going to our car website if you're there already, obviously, clicking on the inventory tab, the drop down, and clicking trailer inventory, or you can go directly to the trailer website itself. It's hangstershaulers.com. With that said, we'll go ahead and lower this nice car down off the lift now, go underneath the hood. We're going to fire this Mopar engine up.